Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Grand Lux by Cyril Marchetti. Website is usgamesinc.com. Feel free to freeze frame there if you need to. Supportive Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Here's how you spell Lucy's name. Illustrated by Jesse Reish. It's a Hay House product. This box is from 2002. But if you look up Lucy or Hay House on your favorite search engine, you should find what you're looking for. Drawn out. The whole thing's drawn out. It's all drawn out. It's all drawn out. What's drawn out? Are you moving on from it? What's going on? It's a very long and drawn out situation is my first thought. And I'm noticing this card for you, which is the Emperor. I'm looking at this situation and I kind of want to call it out for what's going on. I'm like, I kind of do. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel like it's almost like if I call it out, I'm going to have to clean it up. Something like that. It's like by calling it out, I get invested in fixing it. Something like that. It almost, like I'm getting this car analogy, like somebody coming up and saying, okay, I know this isn't working. So if I get into this and start telling people what's not working right, and then I'm like, well, this doesn't look right, something's wrong over here, and the deeper we get into it, I end up just fixing the stupid thing myself anyway. And I'm like, I don't really know that I want to do that. I have other things I'd rather spend the time on. I have other things I'd rather spend the time on than dealing with this situation. And it's not really yours. It's kind of like, this is not really my thing to own. I don't have to own this. I don't have to own this. I keep getting that too. I want to kind of call it out. I don't want to deal with it though. And if I start dealing with it, I'll get sucked right into it. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Yeah, there's other people involved here. Like, I'm kind of like, it's really kind of like these two cards are conflicting. This energy doesn't really match. I don't want to get trapped in it. The Devil card, that's what I'm getting with that. I don't want to get trapped in this situation. And I feel like if I start getting involved, I'm going to get trapped right in it. I don't want that. Really don't want that. Although I do want to give my 2 cents and be like, well, this isn't right and that's ridiculous. I want to call something right out, but I don't want to get sucked into it. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do with this. You seem to be right on point with it. You're not kidding yourself in the sense of like, whatever it is, it seems like if I start commenting on it, I'm going to get sucked into it. Because if I comment on it and walk away, I'm going to tick the wrong people off. I'm going to make the wrong people angry, and they're going to remember that, and they're going to look at me like I'm a troublemaker. And then that's going to cause that's going to be bad for me down the road. You're right on point with this. Like, you're like, yeah, if I say something and I don't get involved with it, people are going to have this attitude or opinion about me, and that's going to cause issues later. I've seen this happen before. So if I say anything, I have to commit to the outcome. Because I mean, obviously that's an option. You could say something and just walk away. But you know better. You do. I feel like you've experienced this. You've done that before. I think most of you, it seems like you've done this before. And then, then it comes and bites me right in the butt later. What's this? How do we get rid of the stress? I don't want the stress. Okay. So, this is definitely what works best for you. So I have to choose, Yeah, but it's behind you, I'm noticing. Before you react, just play it out, and just which way is the least amount of stress for you. Go the way of least stress. Which, I know this may sound counterproductive, but if that means just walking away from the situation and just not even commenting on it, I feel like that's fine. Is there a trap here? Because I get this Eight of Swords, like, what's going on? This situation is trying to pull other people in. If you don't... See, I don't think you'd bother with this if you saw this. Sometimes, you know, you gotta read a couple pages of a book before you realize if it's good or not. The cover may look great, but, you know, that doesn't mean anything. We all know that. Sometimes you gotta read a couple pages and you're like, oh, I don't think this is for me. Or you read a couple pages and you're like, you know, actually this is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. I'm actually wanting to read more. The reason I'm giving that analogy is because it may look... I feel like you really don't want to be a part of this, and they're saying go with that gut instinct. It feels like something is trying to trap you into a situation, and it's trying to push off this Ten of Swords energy on you. Walk on from this. Because this is a slippery one. It's kind of like it's trying to get over a problem by pulling somebody else into it. And, you know, sometimes in things in life, you got to kind of get involved in it and kind of start figuring out what's really going on before you see, like, oh no, I should have never got involved with this. This is one of those times you should never get involved. This is not for you. This is definitely not for you. I feel like this is either or option. If you get involved in it, there's a lot of stress, but you will make it work out. So if you decide to get involved with it, it's the Ten of Wands. It's a lot of work, but you will solve it. But if you walk on from it, which is the Six of Swords, instead of fixing somebody else's problem, you're getting something much more enjoyable for yourself. I don't think you should be owning this, whatever this is. It's good to help. I'm not saying it's not good to help. I just feel like I'm looking at this is like whoever you're helping, I feel like it's like a problematic person. Like, the way I understand the term problematic is like solving problems by making other problems. Like every time they solve something, the way they're solving it creates new problems, and the way they solve that creates new problems. From what I understand, that's what problematic means. So this is a very problematic person or situation. Every time there's a solution, every solution creates bigger problems, like bigger problems, to the point where you're like, you know, rob one person to pay another one, that type of thing. Like you're technically solving one and creating the same problem somewhere else with someone else. This is not for you. Because you have solutions, but there's a game energy there. I would not. It's actually better to walk away from it. You got these two cards coming in, which is Earth and Fire. It's kind of like, I feel like somebody getting trapped inside that jar. Kind of like they're going to try to get you invested in the situation and try to drag you into it. This is like when you start dating somebody and then you get involved in a relationship and you fall in love with them, but they make your life chaos, and you're like, how did I get into this? And how do I get out? Do I want to get out? And like it's just one of those things. It feels like that. For some of you, maybe this is a romance thing. If you're not emotionally invested with somebody, it's easier to walk away. Once you're emotionally invested, it's harder. Not impossible to walk away, but the more emotionally invested you are, the harder it is to walk away. So they're saying don't even do it. Don't get invested in this. Don't get emotionally invested here. Because Because this situation is going to, you start off little, but you get sucked into it before you know, and then you're invested with people. Other people get, no, I'm telling you, it seems like it could be easy to walk away. It seems like I want to say like, oh, okay, I could just find out what it's about. And once I realize I can walk away if I don't like it, it doesn't seem that easy for some reason. It's a perpetual problem too. Problematic, perpetual problem, perpetual problem. It doesn't really solve. It'll be hard for you to walk away at first, but they're saying do that though. It's better for you to just stay away from it. I mean, stay away from it. I'm just kidding, stay away from it. Let somebody else fix it, because somebody else will be along to fix it. Somebody's going to fall for this. You don't have to be the one. Unless you feel like you want to be the saint in the situation and be like, oh, I'll sacrifice my happiness for the world. Like, I don't know. Why would you do that? But if you want to, knock your socks off. Everybody has their own lessons to learn in life. So I guess, so if you got to do what you got to do, you got to do what you got to do. I'm getting don't do it. Don't do it. If you stand back, because I was like, what is authenticity talking about? You will find out the truth at some point, and you'll realize it was better to stay out of it. So you will get that answer. So the resolution does seem to come to you. I just feel like you don't want to do this. I keep getting like you really don't want to do this. But you decide what you got to do. Make sure it fits to you, because the way this started off was like you really didn't really want to get involved with it anyway, but you feel the need to say something. Ironically, they're saying go with that energy where you're like, I really don't want to get pulled into this. Don't get pulled into it. Because this is almost like a trap card in itself. Especially when it's getting backed up by the Eight of Swords. It's kind of like I feel like I have to, almost. You don't have to. Alright, I think we're good. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below with the same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.